Global news. Now it's time for Property Portfolio. It's our weekly deep dive into the sector. And this week we're looking at how technology is changing the way we manage properties and the way that the real estate industry is affected by all that in general. Let's talk now to Gregory Dewerpe, who's founder of PropTech, which is Europe's largest PropTech venture capital firm, part of a $100 million funding round for Plentific, a platform for smart property management. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Gregory. Very good morning to you. First of all, just for those starting with this, tell us more about what PropTech is. How does technology get incorporated into property management? How is it changing things?
Good morning, and thanks for having me. I mean, the simple way to think about PropTech is really to look at the entire real estate ecosystem. Think about the entire life cycle of an asset, from the raw material supply chain to design, architecture, construction, operations of a building, transaction of a building, engagement with the tenants, whether they're office tenants or residential tenants within the building. And so it's really looking at how technology enables to improve, digitize, and enhance the entire process of an asset. And so there's plenty to unpack in there, and that's what makes what we do very exciting, because we see amazing technologies and entrepreneurs on a daily basis.
Yeah, and it's very interesting the way this is working. I mean, does it bring benefits for landlords and tenants?
Absolutely. So look, when you think about landlords, really there's two types of benefits. There is what we call bottom line benefits, and how can technology improve your margins and reduce your costs. And then there is the top line growth, is how can technology enable you to increase your revenues in a world where rental growth is questioned, especially in the office space, for example. How can you leverage technology to basically get more out of your tenants, sell ancillary services, get ancillary revenues from all additional types of transactions that are enabled by technology platforms? So definitely there are significant benefits for landlords. In a world where yields are very low, 3%, imagine every cent or every dollar or euro that you're able to save represents, a 30 times kind of enterprise value creation. So there's definitely a lot to do there for landlords.
Yes, I mean, is it like to be a major disruptor for the property industry, do you think? Are people moving towards this right across the whole piece?
I mean, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened to the industry, if you ask me. I think the COVID has turbocharged the need for transformation. I mean, 2 years ago, technology was a nice to have that nobody really could be seriously bothered about, because, hey, it's somebody else's problem. Why would I change what I've been doing for the last decades? But today you have the convergence of pressure from regulators that are coming down on landlords when it comes to climate change. You have pressure from investors or lenders that are asking more questions about how technology is embedded within operations and how climate change is part of a new agenda. And then lastly, you have customer demands, customer requests that are much more demanding when it comes to technology and, again, climate change. I come back to this word of climate change because it's probably the single most important thing that's happening right now in real estate.
So, Gregory, just briefly at the end, what kind of investment opportunities and markets are you looking at? What could be the next target for funding?
So we focus on a number of things, but I would say where we see most of our interest right now is any technology that's going to enable the decarbonization of the real estate industry. People don't know that enough, but I'll say it, real estate is the number one contributor to climate change on the planet. People always blame aviation or road transportation. This is a couple of percentage points of total carbon emission. Real estate is 40% of global carbon emission. It's the single most tangible way to target climate change today, right, and that's where we're spending most of our time.
Gregory, thank you so much for being with us today. Gregory Dewerpe, the founder of PropTech, Europe's largest PropTech venture capital firm. There is PropTech. That's a new word to me, but we're going to be looking at some other words, not so new, but perhaps not so widely understood as they should be. In the next part of the program, we're going back to school again. This time we're going to talk about ETFs, and we're also going to be talking about NFTs. We'll explain what they all mean